Hello everyone. Yes, how are my students? All are doing good, right? Yeah, very good. Today I'm going to talk another important topic that is about the types of RNA and the protein synthesis process. So, in order to understand how this translation process occurs, we need to study on the types of RNA which are involved in the synthesis of protein and how all these RNAs participate in the translation process and all the things like that. How the ribosomes are involved in the synthesis of the protein. So, in order to understand this whole thing of translation, we have to understand each and everything properly. So, let me start with my subject with the synthesis of protein and the types of RNA. So, first, let me explain with the diagram like how the synthesis of protein occurs. So, what I already told is that, are you able to see my diagram, everyone? Yeah. So, this is the DNA molecule. So, replication means it is just the making the Xerox copy of itself. So, making DNA to DNA, that is known as replication. But from DNA, making the synthesis of RNA is known as transcription process. So, DNA to DNA, it is just like a Xerox copy. It is known as translation. From DNA to RNA synthesis, that process is known as transcription. From this RNA, in turn, this is a protein molecule. So, from this RNA, the formation of protein takes place. This process is known as translation. You can see this protein molecule, right? So, this is the last step where a complete protein synthesis has taken place. So, from DNA has the genetic information. From the DNA, mRNA is formed. It transfers its genetic information. DNA has the genetic information. RNA doesn't have the genetic information by itself. So, DNA in turn transfers the genetic information by forming RNA and in turn to proteins. This entire process is known as protein synthesis process. So, all of you, please make a look of it. Are you able to understand? Yeah, fine. Now, let us understand the types of RNA which are involved in the synthesis of protein. So, what are the types of RNA required for the synthesis of protein? There are majorly three types of RNA: messenger RNA, ribosomal RNA, transfer RNA. So, for the protein synthesis to take place, each and everything is required. You have to learn, you have to understand the role of each and everything. So, coming back to let us today understand a small topic, that is types of RNA. How many types of RNA are there and what are their structures and what are their roles? So, let us begin with a first RNA, that is messenger RNA. So, messenger RNA, it has in RNA molecule, we all know that it is having uracil instead of thymine. DNA has thymine, RNA has uracil. So, RNA is a single-stranded. So, first let us come to messenger RNA. And you should know that the genetic information in RNA is present in the form of codon. So, in DNA, it is called as code. In RNA, it is called as codon. In turn, all these things together, all they help in the formation of protein synthesis. So, first let us come to messenger RNA. Are you able to see the first molecule here? This is the messenger RNA, that is the mRNA molecule. So each of this RNA plays a very important role. Each has its own significance in the formation of a protein molecule. So let us understand each of the RNA molecule. First one is the messenger RNA. What is this messenger RNA? This is the structure of messenger RNA. At the 5' end, it is having a cap. A capping is present at the 5' end. With the help of 7-methyl guanosine triphosphate and also a very unusual 5' to 5' phosphate bond is present. So this capping is there with the help of the 7-methyl guanosine triphosphate and a very unusual 5' to 5' phosphate linkage. So presence of this at the 5' end of the mRNA molecule, what? It plays a very major role so that it prevents the action of exonucleases, so that it should not be acted upon by exonucleases. So in order to protect itself, this 7-methyl guanosine triphosphate and a very unusual 5' to 5' phosphate linkage is present. So there is a cap at the 5' end. This cap is followed by a leader sequence. After this leader sequence, there is an initiator codon, that is AUG. AUG is an initiator codon. This I didn't tell about this initiator codon. And in the next chapter, let us deal with the codons. What are the codons? Start codons, stop codons, and how many codons are there in the genetic code. That is also a very interesting topic. So next in the subsequent videos, I will deal about this codons. So AUG, now let us understand AUG. AUG means it is an initiator codon which codes for methionine in prokaryotes and N10 formyl methionine in eukaryotes. So this much you understand for this video. So AUG is an initiator codon. Here you can see AUG is an initiator codon. After this initiation codon, there is a long chain of coding zone here. So first is a cap followed by leader sequence followed by AUG codon. AUG codon is followed by a coding zone. After this coding zone, there is a presence of stop codon. See UAA here. There are stop codons. There are 3 stop codons. UAA, UGA and UAG. These are the stop signals for the synthesis of protein. This is a stop termination. These are called as terminator codons, where the transcription stops. So these are the stop signals. See here you can see UAA. Here UAA. This is the stop signal for transcription process. There are 3 stop codons, UAA, UGA and UAG. These are stop signals, also known as terminator codons. They stop the process of transcription. So there is a stop codon. After this stop codon, there is a sequence of non-coding zone here. After the stop codon, there is a small sequence of non-coding zone, and at last there is the presence of a poly-A tail. What is this poly-A tail? Poly-A tail means at the 3' end there is a presence of, here, so you can see at the 3' end there is a presence of poly-A tail. This poly-A tail means it is the adenylated residue. What it gives the stability for the RNA. It gives the stability for the RNA. These are the adenylated residue, and this also it prevents the action of exonuclease enzyme. So let us understand the whole thing process. There is at the 5' end, there is a cap followed by a leader sequence and followed by an initiator codon and followed by a coding zone and following the terminator codon. Here it is UAA, but there are 3 terminator codons, UAA, UGA and UAG. So these are the stop signals where the transcription stops. And after this there is a sequence of non-coding zone. This is the non-coding zone. At the last there is a presence of poly A tail. So poly A tail is that adenylated residue. There are these, they prevent the RNA molecule from the action of exonuclease enzyme. So this is the thing all of you should know about the messenger RNA. Now, what is this? This messenger RNA, about 5 to 10% of the total cellular RNA is comprised of messenger RNA. This is synthesized in the nucleus of the cell. First it is synthesized, that is known as messenger RNA. In the previous videos I have already explained about this. mRNA is synthesized in the nucleus of the cell. So first it is synthesized and it is known as hnRNA, heterogeneous RNA. That means it is having both the introns and exons. So after the introns and exons are there, after the exons are joined, after that this RNA in turn leaves the nucleus and enters the cytoplasm of the cell. So that thing in the previous video I have discussed. That itself I am explaining in this also. So genetic information is stored in the form of codon. In the DNA, genetic information is stored in the form of code. Here it is in the form of codon. Okay, there are two types like mono and if the synthesis of only one polypeptide takes place, then it is called as monocistronic. If it codes for many peptides, then it is known as polycistronic. There are two types. So in eukaryotes it is monocistronic and in prokaryotes it is polycistronic. There are two types. If the mRNA, that codon genetic information, if it codes for only one peptide, it is known as monocistronic. If it codes for many peptides, then it is known as polycistronic mRNA. So this is the thing everybody should understand about messenger RNA. The codons here, they are complementary to both the codes of DNA and the anticodons of tRNA. So, let me explain about anticodon. When I explain tRNA, there the presence of anticodon is there in tRNA. So, what happens? All these things are interrelated. All these things we need to understand in order to understand the whole process of protein synthesis. So, don't get confused. Where is code? Where is anticodon? Where is codon? Don't get confused. So, let me explain properly. Code means it is in DNA. Codon means it is in RNA. Codon means it is in RNA. Anticodon is present in tRNA. See, here you can see this is the anticodon site. Here, this is I will explain briefly about this tRNA molecule. This is the anticodon site. Here there is anticodon site. Anticodon is present in this loop. So, as we all know that these RNA molecules plays a very major role in protein synthesis. Next, let us understand about the tRNA. So, messenger RNA I have dealt. Next, let me deal with the transfer RNA. Transfer RNA is that, see, I am going to explain the anticodon site. See, this is the anticodon present in tRNA. This representation, you can remember a clover leaf thing. It looks like a clover leaf. So tRNA is an example for clover leaf. Looks like that, right? Yeah. Now let me explain the things what are all there in tRNA molecule. In tRNA, what happens is that there are three unusual bases present in tRNA molecule. These are dihydrouridine, ribothymidine and pseudouridine. These are the unusual bases present in tRNA molecule. So what happens is that there are many loops in tRNA. In turn, it looks like a clover leaf thing. So there are arms here, three arms. That is, one is the accepted arm present at the top, and there is a DHU arm, and there is a pseudouridine loop. That is, these are the three arms which are present in tRNA molecule. So why the name is called as DHU loop? Because of the presence of pseudouridine, unusual base. That is the presence of pseudouridine, so it is called as DHU loop. And there is, let me explain. And also there is a variable arm. A variable arm is also present. See, these are the three loops, and this is the variable arm. So as we all know that at the 5' end, here this is the 5' end and this is the 3' end. 3' end of the tRNA molecule, always it has a CCA sequence. That is where the amino acid binds to the tRNA molecule for the protein synthesis to take place. So tRNA molecule, what it does is that it takes this is known as the amino acid binding site. So complementary to this, there is an anticodon site. This is called as anticodon site. This is called as anticodon site. And this 3' end there is a CCA sequence, and at the 5' end there is a G. That is guanine present, and you all know that one is the pseudouridine loop and the other one is a DHU loop, and the other one here is the anticodon site, and this is the variable arm present. The small one is there now. This is a variable arm. These are the three loops in the variable arm. This is the anticodon site. In turn, what happens? This protein synthesis takes place. So, this plays a very major role in translation process. We need to understand the roles of RNA in order to understand the protein synthesis. So, these are the things we have to learn about tRNA. Coming to the ribosomal RNA, what it does, it is about ribosomal RNA, it is also known as rRNA. It is about 80% of the total RNA in the cell, and it is also a single-stranded, but in some regions it forms a pseudohelix. So the main component of the ribosome, it is the main component of the ribosome. That is, ribosomal RNA is the main component of the ribosome. It constitutes about 60% of it. So, see, this is the ribosomal RNA, where you can see a pseudohelix. These are the pseudohelix you can see in ribosomal RNA. These are the pseudohelix. So, in order to understand the protein synthesis, today we have understood the roles of the different RNA molecules. So at last, this is the thing we are understanding, that is from the DNA, the DNA has the genetic information, from this DNA, mRNA is formed, and in turn this protein synthesis takes place. For this, understanding this process of protein synthesis, so today we have understood the roles of different RNA molecules. Hope my video is interesting for everyone, please subscribe to my channel. Study well, take care, bye bye.